Afternoon, Dwayne here, Dry Creek Wrangler School. Continuing on with the series on fencing. We've been dancing in and out and around of the rain here for so many days. Have a really wet spring here this year. So today I'm going to be putting H-braces. We got some more posts planted. Now, if you see over there, you see that hole that ain't in. Yesterday we got a bunch of these posts planted, but the holes are filling up with water. We've had so much rain. And so we're letting the water run out and letting things dry out, and then we're going to be putting dirt in and tamping a whole lot more. I wouldn't want you to think we're doing a half-baked job, but I'm running out of time and I got to get stuff done. So we've got the post where we have water problems. We got the post tamped in good enough. They're staying. And so I'm going to go ahead and start putting H-braces so I can get something done while we've got warm weather out here, okay? So now there's several different ways to do H-braces. There's a lot of different ways. And so I've just got a certain way that I do it. And so I have this post here on the ground, Mama, if you want to show that. It's just another one of these. And so that's an 8-foot post. And so each one of these are a little less than 4 foot, which gives me the ability to come in here and notch out on each side. So I'm going to cut that post in half, so I've got 2 4-footers, okay? I'm telling you in advance what I'm going to do, and then Mama can video it while I'm doing it, and it'll make sense. I'm going to come up here. If that's in the way, I'm going to come up here 3 foot, 36. I'm going to make a mark. That post is 6 inches in diameter, so I'm going to come up here another 6 inches and make another mark. I'm going to do the same thing over here, okay? I'm going to come up 36, make a mark, come up another 6, make a mark. Then I'm going to use a chainsaw and I'm going to notch those out. Now, let me correct myself here. I'm not going to just come up 36 because then it won't be level because the ground is sloping. So I will come up here, make a mark, and then I'll use the level and I'll level my marks so that my post is level, okay? So then I'm going to notch that out 3 foot from the ground. I'm going to take half of that. I'm going to slide that in the notch. I'll have everything measured. And then I've got big molly screws, but they're not here on the place. I got to go get them. That I'm going to screw in from the end on each end. And then we have a way of that we wrap it with wire to pull everything together. So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do that one. And if you want to come down here, that post right there is the post we're going to hang a 16-foot gate on. And it'll tie in here. So now we're going to tie these I'm going to put another H-brace in here. That way when I start running wire down this fence, everything pulls together. So that's what we're doing up here. Okay, when you're fencing, like on hillsides and stuff, some of the times you can't just go by sight. You can't step back and look at it and say that looks good. Whether it's plumb, whether you're checking plumb or not, or you're coming across your level, because you'll get visual illusions because the ground comes up and your post is straight across, and it will look off no matter how straight you get it, okay? But you want it to be straight regardless of how visual the ground is in contact with it, because that's structural, all right? So don't make the mistake of looking at something and say that looks terrible. Put a level on it, put a line on it, and numbers don't lie. The foundation of the universe is mathematics, and the numbers don't lie. So we're going to go by the level, we're going to go by the numbers, and if we stand back when we're done and say that looks like it's sloping, if we put a level on it and it's level, then it's not sloping, it's just the pitch of the ground underneath it, or the slope of the hill that's behind it, and they're in contrast to each other. Okay? All right, know the difference between doing a good job and building kitchen cabinets. We're not building kitchen cabinets, we're notching a post. So do a good job, but don't go crazy about it. I mentioned before in other videos I've done that, and young men have texted me, they've emailed me and say, hey, what do I need to do to get started in that lifestyle, in that work? I'm young, just graduated from high school. I can't just go out and hire on a ranch right now. And I've told them, learn everything. Learn everything. Cowboying, wrangling is about horses. Okay, follow me here. I mean, the horses are a major part. I know that it's about people, but it's about horses, okay? Horses is about fencing. And fencing is about chainsawing, it's about construction, it's about reading a tape measure, it's about reading a level, it's about running. If you're fortunate enough, you're on a place that has a tractor with an auger for digging post holes. It's just the regular simple things of life that you need to know. Everything that you learn, physical, is not going to be wasted, okay? You need to know how to run a chainsaw. You need to know how to read a tape measure, because you may need to fix a stall in a barn. You might need to notch a post. You might, it's not just sitting on a horse. Learn to weld. If you can weld, you don't have to be like a world-class welder, TIG, MIG, and stick and everything else. But if you can stick two pieces of steel together, in a fairly good manner, you're invaluable on a ranch. There's always broken gates. There's always horse trailers where a bull broke a cut gate. You know, there's always stuff that needs to be welded. And so there's more to learning and more to doing this than just knowing how to throw a saddle on a horse, jump off, and ride like your hair's on fire. One of the constants that you always got to be aware of in this work, it never changes. It doesn't go away with the seasons. It doesn't go away with the weather. It doesn't go away with time. In fact, time exacerbates it, and that's gravity. All right, gravity is always a force that's pulling on your stuff on the ranch. The reason we do all this extra work the way I'm doing it is because of gravity. I tie I bolt a 16-foot gate to this post right here. It's hanging out there 16 foot away from the post. Gravity is always pulling on that, which means gravity is always pulling on this. I put a cross brace in here. Gravitational force is always pulling down. Now, it won't be a big thing at the beginning, but it's always there. And if I want this to last for 20 years, then I want to mitigate the forces of gravity and the effect that they have over time. So I have ledges. So I don't just slide the logs in here, put a screw in and put a screw in, and then let gravity pull on it. And people step on it, climbing over the fence, different things. You put a screw in the end, a molly like we're going to use. Over time, that wood gets soft around that molly, and it doesn't have the same strength it has. But if you notch in here, set it on the ledge, then you're insuring yourself against the effects of gravity over time. Everything that you do, you're not just doing for today. All right, if some of my kids or my grandkids wind up working here, owning this when I'm gone, inheriting this, I don't want them to have to come out 2 or 3 years into it after I'm dead and say, I've got to rebuild that fence because Grandpa just slapped it up and got it done so it'll hold as long as he was alive. I don't want them to have to do it. I want it to be here when they come in. I want them to walk in and say, man, everything is as solid and straight as the day he started. And you need to live life that way. You need to live life that way. You need to have everything set up so that when you walk off the scene, the person that walks in behind you walks into a ready-made deal. And it's as straight and as solid and as sound when they walk in as it was when you built it and put it together. And that's only going to happen if you care. If you care. All right, if you're doing this and this is your first time and you're a little bit green with the chainsaw and the whole thing, I'll give you a little tip. Now, the last set of these I did, in fact, the last several sets of these I did with square 6x6s that I got from, I don't know where I got them from, but standard pressure treated 6x6s. And they're square and not round. Now, when you're doing square, you can actually do a speed square all the way around and have a line all the way around, and so your cuts, it'll help you follow your cuts better. Now, my cut's a little bit not real pretty on this. I'm not going to worry about it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 knots in this, and so as I try to smooth this out sideways with a chainsaw, it doesn't work real well, and all I'm doing is notching my post deeper and deeper on top and bottom. So I'm just going to take what I got because I'm using round posts. The reason I'm using round post is they were 50% cheaper than what the 6x6s were locally. But if you're in the area where you've got a choice of round or the square, and you can use either one, the square ones are easier to get your notches, get your lines, get your cuts and everything. Just a little tip. And because of the soft ground, and we're going to tamp this post a bit more when the ground dries. That post was leaning in just a little bit. So what I did was I cut this just a hair longer so that when I went to put it in the notch, it would push that one back out into plumb. This one's not going to be plumb. It's got a bow in it. And so it's just going to do what it's going to do. But I wanted it because it was bigger. Aha. Perfect. So now I'll get those mollies, which a molly is a long, heavy screw with a hex socket type head on it that they use for putting log homes together or landscaping timbers. So I've got some of those. So what I'll do is I'll put a molly in each end, and we're fixing to go to lunch. Take these guys to lunch, my help here. And when we come back, I'm gonna show you how we run the wire to tie everything together. That's a huge step right there.